You hit it.
Where is it?
It's right there. There's a button.
Ain't that here?
You gotta drink it now.
Little cider action.
Gracias. Let me taste it.
Good morning, everyone. Well, it feels like we're going south in Spain, but actually at this little bit, the coast kind of turns west. And so we are headed west, covering this coastline of Spain. And so far, it has been stunning through the Basque region. The mountains, the cliffs, the greenery, the architecture, the house, the food. We really are off to a great start in Spain. But we're headed, well, we're kind of headed south, but we're headed west. And we're going to get up into some mountain adventures today. So let's go. All right, so Snow got drive duty, second shift today. And it is windy here in northern Spain. And I mean, there are warnings and stuff. We tried to pull up on the side of the road, and really you're just in it. So we decided to ease along the highway and drive through here, so we're still making ground. But despite the wind, this northern Spain is absolutely stunning. And we're going to kind of show you some of the countryside as we pass through here. But just know, snow's white knuckling it, so we're kind of going to be on the down low.
The further we move on from all those yesterdays, happiness gets nearer. The light that we see closing in so fast ahead, it's hope, it's getting clearer. The more I think of all the tough times we survived, the more it makes me smile. If nothing's broken us, yeah, nothing never will. 'Cause dreams are hard to kill. And I know somewhere's a place where we can build our memories. Somewhere, just hold on tight.
Alright guys, we made it. Probably about 3.5 hours of driving total today, including a grocery store shop that we did not share with y'all because it was just kind of quick in and out. But that was some Patagonia style wind. And if you followed our journey when we were down in Patagonia, there were a few times we really thought we were literally going to turn over. And this was a tough drive today. Some of you may wonder why I was driving instead of Curt, because when we get in situations like that, I am more calm if I'm the one at the wheel. I get way more nervous if someone else is in control. But we made it to a parking lot in this cool little town, coming up through a beautiful canyon drive to get here. There are a lot of other motorhomes parked here. It's really cool that the little local town gives us this free place to park. And what do we find in the coffee shop, Curt?
Oh, nice little Spanish culture, coffee, tapas, just...
It was a place the locals were definitely hanging out after a hard day's work. Most of them were treating it more like a bar. We had some coffee. But I think we're going to call it a night. Curt's got some research to see if there's a hike he wants to do in this area, because it sure is pretty. It looks like there'd be somewhere he could do something cool. But if the wind's going to keep up, he might get blown off the mountain.
Yeah, we got to look at this weather.
Yeah, we got to check it out. We will see you guys in the morning. Good morning, everyone. We had a really good night's sleep there in the parking lot. The wind died down right around bedtime, so that worked out awesome. But we got a super early start this morning. We have a little bit over an hour drive through these beautiful mountains and along this river to get to the other side of some of these mountains where Curt has found an adventurous hike that he's going to do. Now, I'll be sitting this one out because it's one of his crazy ones, and that's where we're headed. But it is a beautiful morning, so hopefully it's a beautiful day for a beautiful Curt hike.
Woohoo! Let's go! All right, we made it to Fuente Day, and this is the place I was excited about. But if you can see here, there's a funicular that comes up here, basically a cable car. And there's a point right up there on top of the mountain, right up there on top of the mountain where the cable car dumps you off. And so the hike is down from that point, and I believe you kind of skirt across the top of the mountains and eventually around sort of the backside there, start to work your way back down the mountain and down here to the parking lot. Off there we have a little waterfall, and well, we just have a sheer rock wall all around us. So we're kind of drove up through this canyon and valley, and it looks like we made it up to the end. The problem is we have been getting really bad wind storms, wind warnings. The vernacular was closed yesterday. It's closed today as well because of the winds, and we don't know what's going to happen with the winds tomorrow. And also, another thing, it's not just wind, but it looks like there's a forecast for rain. So it was a beautiful drive up here and a beautiful place. I would love to get up there and do this. She said, the person in the information booth said that even hiking up there is not allowed now because of the wind. And so on some of these ledges, the wind is so strong where it just kind of lifts you right off of there. So anyway, we got to reassess what we're going to do. Either A, we just go ahead and get out of here, or B, we stay the night and roll the dice. Oh, brother.
Well, by now y'all know that our plans for Curt to do this cool hike are blown by the high wind. But I wanted to tell you that this area is called the Picos de Europa, and it is home to over 200 peaks exceeding 2,000 meters, which is 6,562 feet. And what's cool is how jagged and rugged looking they are, and it's kind of like a historic area. It weaves through all these authentic villages and farms, so the drive up's been beautiful. So yes, we're sad that Curt can't do the hike, but there is nothing wrong with driving through this area again. Now this place, there are finds from way back where humans were here during prehistoric times, and it's also known for tons of wildlife, including wolves, brown bears, and lots of cool birds. But we're not likely to get a chance to see some of those. But on the way out of here, I want to show y'all some of the cool cows we saw coming in. Many different kinds, and some of them super cute. So we'll see if we can get a look at those on the way down. The plan is to backtrack to one of the villages that we saw where we know we can park the van for night, either have lunch or a coffee in a little restaurant, call it a day, and regroup to figure out what we're going to do tomorrow. So let's go on a beautiful drive. Within the past couple of months here in Spain, and you guys probably heard about it. If you're in the area over here in Europe, you definitely heard about it. And I believe it probably made it all the way over to the news in the States. But Spain suffered horrific, terrible flooding, mainly along the east coast. I believe kind of focused in the Valencia area. I think many people died and are missing, and total tragedy. We're on the closer to the west coast, northwest coast of Spain. And this area that we're driving through right now obviously has suffered from extreme flooding. Now, I don't think it was in the last batch that came through that got the other coast, because the road construction to make the repairs is well underway. And if you follow us, you know that before van life, me and Curt both built roads. So the work they're doing here to repair this mountain canyon pass road is nothing short of fascinating to us. the Spaniards know how to build some roads, I can tell you that. So you're gonna have to suffer through this footage of all of this really cool techniques we're seeing. And it also shows you that when this area floods, it's probably devastating. But they've done a good job, haven't they, Curt?
Yeah, it's almost like one of the lanes, the lane along the river, is almost completely almost like a bridge. In some places, it literally hangs out over the river, and in some cases, it is over the ground, but it's still almost like the bridge continues. But there's been nice guardrail throughout. It's always wide enough for 2 cars. Some places have gotten a little narrow, especially where they're still doing work. But this is a type of road that's really tough to build. It's really tough to get it to stay here, and they're doing a fantastic job.
Yeah. So there you go. There's your daily dose of road construction video from Snow and Curt. All right, we are about halfway down. We think we've picked out a town that we could spend the night in and maybe have some lunch or coffee. So we should be there soon. But this is a beautiful drive, but we had to show you the road construction. Gracias. Do it again. You hit it.
Where is it?
It's right there. There's a button.
I ain't that here.
You gotta drink it now.
Little cider action.
Gracias. Let me taste it. So, we kept driving until we literally made it back to the town where we spent last night and left from early this morning. But all in all, it was close to 4 hours of driving, guys, so we're pretty wore out. We walked right across the street from our handy little free parking lot and found a restaurant. Now, what we have learned is that we are in the Asturias region of Spain.
It's like kind of like another Basque sort of autonomous region.
Yeah, kind of like a standalone little area within Spain. So where we ate had that kind of food. Now, Curt, what did you have?
Well, I had the fabada, which was like a white bean with a blood sausage, chorizo, and some other like fatty pork or bacon. And so it would be kind of similar to a bean soup, very, very tasty, like white bean between lima beans, paprika, garlic, just really good hearty soup with a lot of bread to sop up the gravy.
Yeah.
And now I'm about in a food coma.
Now that is a dish from this region. It is served throughout Spain, but this is where it comes from, so it was a good idea for Curt to have it here. I went what I'm gonna call the American route. It had barbecue ribs with a few little potatoes on the side. They were really good. Costillas. They were really, really good.
Barbacoa.
Curt had a local cider, which came with a really cool little dispenser.
You pushed the little button there, had like the little, I don't know, hiking man in there, and
it was really cool.
Cider. It was tasty.
It was really
good.
cool. So it was a nice lunch.
Just
right
getting a flavor for the local foods and drinks.
It's always fun. But we're gonna head back to the van, and quite honestly, we're both feeling pretty much like a nap. So I think we will see y'all in the morning when we are headed to
a couple of cool lakes. There's another cool hike. I'm bummed that ours was aborted, but the wind was just too much. So we have something else on the list for tomorrow, and I'm equally excited about this. And snow can probably come along on this one.
We'll have to do some research and see. All right, guys, we'll see y'all in the morning. This morning, we slept in a little bit. And then we took about an hour-and-a-half drive from the little town we've been at for the past 2 nights to an area called the Lakes of Covadonga. Now, this is all still part of the national park of Picos de Europa. So it's a national park all around this mountain range. But we had to leave the national park, go through a bunch of fun little farm towns, little villages, and then we re-entered the park area to what we thought was a leisurely drive to see some lakes.
Couple lakes down at the base of the mountains. Easy peasy, nice, relaxing drive.
How'd that turn out, Curt?
Well, I will tell you, it is a tale of two cities. And first off, the views were absolutely breathtaking and stunning. And maybe we haven't said it enough, but the Spaniards are very good road builders. The roads are very nice. However, on this particular road, all of a sudden the pavement would go right to the edge of the cliff where it would drop straight off. And so you go from just a glimpse of this beautiful view to, oh no, we're gonna go tumbling to our death. So it is a intense road that we're about to embark on up this mountain.
So we made it to the top, and I'm sure glad Curt's driving this bout. But we were going to go to the visitor center, but they were doing a little bit of construction, so we turned around and headed to this little restaurant that's up there. Now, what I want to tell you is that during busy season and on weekends, from what we understand, they actually close this road to the public. And the only way to get up there is to take a bus or a taxi. So only certain vehicles are allowed to ride up there. But we came during the week in the winter time, so we were able to drive up there ourselves. But that did not mean it wasn't chaotic at the top. Trying to get parked at that little restaurant we got lucky. We slid right into a great spot, but you could just sit there and watch that parking lot all day. It was like a clown show, wasn't it, Curt?
Yeah, and then they had those big giant horses right there.
Beautiful horses with some babies. They were fuzzy. You could tell they were getting ready for the winter time. So just getting to sit there and enjoy that. And from the little restaurant we parked at, you had a nice view of one of the lakes. There's 2 lakes up here. And one thing that surprised me and Curt both is we didn't know these lakes were at such a high elevation. We thought it'd kind of be a flat drive down into a valley. And it was just the opposite. There was a lot of climbing. But we spent quite a bit of time out there just taking it in. We drove a little bit farther past the restaurant so we could see the second lake. So Curt braved another crazy big drop-off road to get up to see the second lake. And then it was time to head back out of there. And coming back down, the sun had changed, so things were hitting different. We got a surprise on the side of the road with, I don't know if they're wild goats or what, but big old billy goats. I think there were 3 of them. We were on a downhill, so there was no way we could stop.
But I gotta tell you guys, when you're coming on those downhills and you come out and there's like a corner, and so all you can see is the edge of the road, and then it just drops off into the abyss.
Well, and you never know if a car's coming around one of those hairpin turns either.
Oh, there's big boulders wrapping around the road. It is intense. And there's room enough for 2 cars to get through
Most
there.
of the time.
But if there's 2 cars, one guy's hanging his rear end off the cliff, and the other one's like riding up the cliff.
Yeah,
so
it's tight.
It's tight, but it is absolutely stunning up here.
Yeah, and then you make it down to the tree area where all the road's completely covered with trees, and it just starts to feel a little safer, except you're still going straight downhill. And one thing is when we were going up, right at the area where they would close the road if it was only for buses, there's this beautiful church perched up on top of the hill. It looks like a castle church. It's stunning, and it's a complete surprise when you wrap around the curve and see it. So on the way up we saw it, and the light was hitting it, and then coming down the light was hitting it a whole nother way. So that's like the welcome and the farewell, is that big church just sitting there on that cliff. But today was pretty good, wasn't it, Curt?
We caught a break with the weather. You know, we've been fighting this really strong wind, and everything's been closed. And the sun came out today, and the temperature got up there. And it's really nice because as you come up through this area, you can see some of these big sort of restaurants / resorts, probably where the buses whip in. And, you know, I can tell you this is probably a big tourist corridor through here. So to have it like seemingly to ourselves today, or with a light crowd, was absolutely a good choice.
That's our secret. travel during the off season. All right, guys, we are down the mountain. Do you think this is a good time to wind this video down? We're leaving the area of Pico de Europa, and we're headed towards the coast. What do you think, Curt? Wind it down?
It's been good, but Spain, man, you are delivering. It's nice to be able to be in another language country where we understand some of the language.
We have enjoyed that.
We are loving it.
Not saying our Spanish is good, but the little bit we did know is coming back quickly, and it is very helpful, and we enjoy it a lot. But,
we got a cow jam.
We're not going to end it just yet because we got a cow jam. Hola. Alright, that is the perfect way to end the video. A cow jam. We will see y'all in a few days from hopefully over on the coast here in northwest Spain. Cheers, guys. If you liked this video, be sure to hit that thumbs up button. It really helps us a lot. And if you want to see more of our videos, be sure to subscribe to our channel and hit that notification bell so you know when new videos come out. We'll see you guys in a few days from somewhere out here in the world. Cheers.